Alright, so what we're going to do is take a look at the basic primitives of Unity and just some of the basic ones that you can use and how you can create with them. Inside of Unity, again, if you haven't used it before, or if you're just still new to the whole process of it, remember movement inside of Unity, middle mouse wheel is going to go to your pan. And if you look at the top left corner on the toolbar, you'll notice that when you move, if I middle mouse pan, it changes to the hand. You can actually change to the hand as a permanent type, so that the only tool you're using now with your left mouse button is the pan tool. And you can do the same with the move, rotate, scale, and transform. When it comes to zooming in and out inside the scene, middle mouse wheel is going to zoom in and out for you. If you want a smooth zoom, you see how this zoom is really smooth, and then the middle mouse wheel is incremental, it kind of jitters. The smooth zoom is going to be holding down the Alt key and then right mouse button, and then you just want to go forward and backward or left and right with your mouse. Okay, so incremental zoom, hold Alt, left click, right click, and move back and forth for a smooth zoom. Okay, and then to rotate around, remember if you hold the right mouse button and move your mouse around, you'll have a pivot point from where your viewing camera is. If you want to move around like a first-person shooter game, FPS style, if you hold your right mouse button down, your WASD keys become movement keys. If you're not holding down the right mouse button, you won't be able to actually you won't be able to move. Those will just be regular hotkeys. So you have to be holding down your right mouse button. Alright, to orbit around an object or a focused area, you want to hold down the Alt key and left click and drag. As you left click and drag, you'll notice you're rotating around the scene, and what you're rotating around is the last selected object in the scene. Alright, so middle mouse pan, zoom in and out with the mouse wheel, right click to view around, left click and Alt to view around the object selected. Alright, so we should be good to be able to put an object in the scene now. So if we go over to our hierarchy, go down to the create option, we have 3D object, and the 3D object has the cube, sphere, capsule, and all the other ones in here. Let's go ahead and just review. We'll go through these. Let's start off with a basic cube here. Go ahead and click on cube. When you choose this, Unity automatically places a cube inside the scene for you. It's going to place the cube. Notice sometimes some of you may get 0, 0, 0 where your position is over here on the top right in the inspector. Some may have it at an odd or a random number. It's in terms of where or why, it's all based on where your last focus point was. So if I'm in here, let's go ahead and take these back to 0. I'm just going to, over on the position, I'm just going to type in 0, 0, and 0. Alright, now if you remember to zoom to an object, you can double click on the object in the hierarchy. It'll zoom to that object. And at that point, if you're holding down the Alt key and you left click and drag around, you'll be able to focus in on the object that you have. So here's the cube. Basic cube. In terms of the options, when you have it selected, if you have nothing selected, you'll see nothing in the inspector. If you left click on the object, you'll select it. In the inspector, you'll see it has a position, rotation, and scale, and that's going to be for every and any object you place inside the scene will have those properties. Those are going to be the only ones that Unity offers for any of the primitives. They don't actually allow you to have like segment amounts or anything like that. To adjust it though, we can go in with our tools. We can use up on the top of the tools or your Q, W, E, and R keys. Those are your hotkeys for all of them. You can use your rotation. You can rotate by left clicking and dragging on one of the circular icons inside of the rotate gizmo, or you can click in the center to rotate. Same thing with your scale tool. You can grab the edge and scale uniformly in all three directions separately, or you can click on the center box and scale uniformly all together. Alright. When it comes to movement, notice all of a sudden we have the box and it's at an angle. But if I'm wanting to move the box at the angle it's facing, over on the global and local option up here at the top, if you notice when I click on global and local, the pivot point changes. Local means it's going to be any of the rotation scale and the move tool are all going to be facing the direction it's locally facing, and you'll be able to move for it. If I do the global, it means that it's going to be inside of the world environment, so it's going to move straight this direction. Alright, so it's going to be your basic shape right there. Be sure to feel comfortable with moving it around. Be sure that you feel comfortable with scaling it, with rotating it. Alright, we'll run through the rest of the shapes and the rest of the pieces here. And this is just going to be kind of a quick introduction to what's available to us. Just so you feel comfortable with it, go ahead and go to your 3D objects again from your Create and click on the sphere. And notice the sphere comes up in the same place that we had the other one. Now I'm going to go ahead and just go through this again. 3D object capsule. We'll go back up to the 3D objects. We'll do the cylinder. We'll do another 3D objects. We'll do a plane. Do another one. We'll do a quad. So these are going to be, let's see if we've done them all right there. Yeah. So these are going to be all of your standard basic shapes. And what we'll do is walk through some ideas on how we can create and use these in a creative manner that will let us have a interesting environment to play with and look at.